And the little hunter in the hole.
Okay, and there's more.
Right, I'll have a go. Kill him one.
Yeah, yeah.
And push his head right back really hard. Go. Dead. Do the other one. Yeah. And push his head right back as hard as you can till you feel that crunch. And he's gone. You happy with that? Yeah. Just check he's dead before you put him down. Because he can act dead. Hold him by his back legs. If he dangles, right, that could just be nerves, just right now. If you want to feel in there, you can feel the block ender. There's nothing in there now.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. Okay.
So black ender then.
Yeah. And that's just like a nest, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
the end of a tunnel.
Yeah, end of the tunnel. Right, look away. Very cold with a rabbit.
Yeah.
You want to get it off. Your finger there top of his head. Apply gentle pressure.
Okay.
Let go.
Ferret's come back out, so she's exhausted the wire and then there's nothing there.
There's no more centre.
3 for the pot. So just netting a new set now. Yeah.
In this video I'm going to explain firstly about the gun that I use to shoot rabbits, and also a few basic tips to enable you to shoot better, more accurately, and also, and most importantly, shoot more rabbits. A lot of people have asked me what rifle I use when I go shooting, so I've made this video to show you. This is it. It's an Anschutz 1517 .17 HMR. With a Harris swivel bipod and ESC silencer. The scope is a relatively cheap BSA Sweet 17 with a bullet drop compensator on the top. Not that I ever use it, it's just a nice solid clear scope. The magnification on it is 3:12 by 40. Gun's bolt action. With a 4-shot mag, which doesn't sound like much, but just encourages you not to waste any bullets. This gun has got a factory shortened barrel, which means that when you're creeping up on things, you can carry the gun down at your side without it dragging on the ground. You can swing it around inside a vehicle easily. You can put it up over walls very easily. It's just a nice, light, easy to handle gun. The bullets that I use are very light. They're a 17 grain ballistic tip bullet. Means that when they hit something, providing it's something other than very soft skin, the inside of the bullet implodes, the rest explodes. All the energy is released in one go. Means that especially for small game, even a shot that's not in the kill zone, not in the heart, not in the head, say it's through the back or something, it's the amount of energy released is still going to kill it straight away, which to me is very important, because no matter how careful you are, there'll always be some shots that don't hit exactly where you want, no matter how good a shot you are. First thing to consider is camouflage. Makes a hell of a difference when they can't see my baldy shiny head, and also when they can't see my white t-shirt. Stands out like a sore thumb. Whenever I go shooting, I might not always wear camouflage pants like I've got on now, or camouflage wellies, but I always make sure I wear some sort of either dark green or camouflage jacket. You see how it blends into the background? Hands, head stick out like a sore thumb. Sometimes wear gloves in the winter if it's cold, but I generally have a camouflage jacket with a hood. So if I am creeping up on something, it makes me a lot less visible. Whether you're shooting with a bow, a gun, a rifle, shotgun, a spear, or sling, if you use natural cover, i.e. ferns, trees, creep up behind them, get them between you and your target, then you stand a much better chance of getting closer. Also consider what your target is looking at when it's looking at you. It's generally on or near the ground, so therefore if you can get down to the ground as well, it's not going to see your silhouette against the skyline. Doesn't matter how camouflaged you are, but if you cast a great big silhouette on that skyline, whatever it is you're hunting is going to disappear. Another very important thing is, if you have keys, put them in a pocket or in a backpack where they can't jingle. Switch off your mobile phone. There's nothing more irritating when you're lying down just about to squeeze the trigger and you hear some horrendous ringtone which scatters everything. I know, because it's happened to me on a few occasions. I now leave my phone in the car when I go shooting. With regard to the technique for actually taking the shot, this is how I do it. If I can, I always try to lie down with the bipod out. Means that you're very steady, that the front of the gun is supported. I then get behind the gun, obviously, because it's dangerous to get in front of it. Left hand under here, right hand comes around, like that, very, very still. My legs are in this position. And what that does, it flattens my body right to the ground. Means there's no 1 or 2 points of contact. I'm very flat, very steady on the ground, which means that the crosshairs, when you look through the scope, are also going to be very steady. If they're steady, there's a good chance that I'll hit whatever I'm shooting at. When it comes to actually taking the shot, when you've got it lying down with the bipod, breathing isn't so important, unless you're shooting at a real extreme range, which I tend not to. Instead of pulling the trigger in an excited fashion, I would tend to just squeeze. I'm quite lucky because this gun's got a very good trigger. It's got a 2-stage trigger, so you've got a little bit of play, and as soon as it stops, that's when it's going to go off. So I tend to have it pulled until I can feel it's just about to go off. When the crosshairs are steady, bang. One obvious thing to consider is getting to where you're going to take your shot from as quietly as possible. If you make noise or you make disturbance, something's going to see you and it's going to spook it. So when you're walking, you want to try and avoid any branches, anything that's going to make a noise, plastic bottles, any muck lying around, as quiet as possible. After a while it just becomes second nature, and you'll be able to find that you'll be able to keep your eyes on your target and still avoid all the things that could possibly make a noise on the ground. One simple thing that most people don't consider is always work into the wind, and then any scent that you're carrying is blown away from your target. Another very useful tip is to use the sun. If you have the sun at your back, so i.e. you are between the sun and your target is going to be looking into the sun, which means it's going to be even less likely to spot you creeping up on it. Okay, we're in the process of approaching a couple of quite big rabbit sets, and I'm going to share with you my favourite trick. I'm not going to shoot any rabbits because it's on my doorstep. I don't really like shooting them on my doorstep. I like to see them, believe it or not. I tend to just shoot where there's plagues of them, purely for control. What I'm going to do is creep up to the set, allow the rabbits, if there's any there, to dive down the holes and then call them out again. It's a technique I use quite a lot, as it can sometimes double the amount of rabbits that you get outside a set, but it's something I've never heard of anybody else using. Quite close to the rabbit set now. Haven't seen any rabbits, but I'm going to try and call one out. Obviously if I was wanting to shoot one, I could shoot one if they come out. Here we go. That was highly unsuccessful at that set, so I'm going to try at another set. Lo and behold, when I tried another set, the rabbit comes out of the first set.